Big Sexy is the... Welcome to Raw is Jericho!
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Listen up, you blind slapnut. If I can be serious for a minute.
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody.
The real reason I came here tonight is because we are live!
We Flex are NXT.
It's go time, folks! Sweet! A little bit of the bubbly.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
For life.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all the ages, it is that time of the week again. I am the SnowMan, and I am back with another rendition, another week of the Pro Wrestling Weekend Review Show here on the Flex Network. We are live and in living color here on Facebook, on that YouTube, and now Twitter, all three at once. That is just crazy. We are all live and in person here on 3 different platforms at the same time this week. And it's just too sweet. Gotta love that. But yes, we are live. It is that time again, but you know how we do this. Before we really get too far into the show, you know how we do this every week, because we are live. Yes, we are live on the Flex Network. Man, another week, another great week of wrestling in the books. Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah, great week of wrestling in the books, for a Thursday that we do this show. Yeah, let's just get into the news. I mean, there was a lot, not a whole lot of stuff going on, that's, out there, but there's been some news going out there. So, let's just get into that news report. This week, it has been kind of rumored, but we do know that SummerSlam is not going to be in Boston. I've said this, multiple times, but it was official this week that SummerSlam was moving out from Boston. People who bought tickets are going to get need to go and contact Ticketmaster and get their refunds for the show. WWE, was sorry about this. And now with, especially with this damn pandemic that needs to just die, 2020 just needs to go away. The rumor is that Mr. Vince McMahon is kind of tossing around an idea, maybe a thought, that this year's SummerSlam might be going to the beach. Even more of a thought that SummerSlam may be going on a ship. A lot of people are thinking, okay, you're not Chris Jericho. I mean, Chris Jericho's already tapped into that world of being on a cruise ship. I mean, with AEW now, doing a couple shows of Dynamite on a cruise ship with Chris Jericho's Rockin' Cruise. Sorry, what was it? The Rockin' Cruise. I want to say, I have to find it in my notes of what the name was. It was literally several weeks ago. That was Revolution. Jericho. It's like just trying to find the right one through past shows. But anyhow, Jericho's cruise is already, he's got that under wraps. So again, you gotta think that the having SummerSlam on a cruise ship, that would be kind of interesting. I mean, kind of interesting. But Jericho's already done that, so what would be different? But of course, it's being considered that at least one outdoor location for the show or a couple matches for SummerSlam has been thought of. It's just an idea right now. We have nothing. There's nothing new out there. I mean, granted, McMahon wants to do something wacky for the SummerSlam show. Either way, WWE will have to make a decision as to what they're going to do, because we are under a month. Literally, we're under a month away from SummerSlam going down in this COVID-19 pandemic era. Other big news, of course, if you saw last week's SmackDown, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, Kofi Kingston is going to be out for 6 weeks. So, of course, this is making it look like that Big E is going to be getting a singles run. Woods is still out with his injury, his Achilles injury, on the mend, on the rebound, working to get back. Kofi is now going to be out for 6 weeks. So Big E's going to have a lot of time to get some singles action done. I mean, hopefully it's not for the Intercontinental title. Maybe push him into that Universal title run area, or even give him a good run with his singles run. It would be good. It would be very good for him. Being someone that has been a group mentality member for the longest time and putting the group before himself. I mean, think about it. Kofi gained that incredible WWE title run, singles run, even with the group, but still it was being pushed forward. And then Xavier goes down, and now Big E is just mostly tagging with Kofi. Kofi is now going down with a 6-week injury. So I think this is Big E's time to get a good run, a good run as a single star. I hope it goes well for him in this crazy time that we're going through. Other news, of course, that this past Monday was Kairi Sane's last official appearance on WWE programming, as she is now going home back to Japan. WWE confirmed, saying with the hashtag thank you Kairi, posting some memorable moments with her matches, some of her great matches. So again, it sucks that Kairi Sane is now leaving and she's going back home. She's leaving on great terms with the WWE. So thank you very much, Kairi, for your wonderful moments, winning the Mae Young Classic, NXT Women's Champ, Tag Team Champ, and everything you've done was a great run. Hope we do get to see you sometime in the future, even if it's a short little hi, or maybe even a comeback. But for right now, thank you, Kairi, for everything. She is now heading home, back to Japan. AEW, we're going to talk a little AEW quickly. Chris Statlander is slated to be going under the knife this week for her ACL tear back in June. So she will be on the sideline for quite a while. And then the last little bit is that Rusev, yes, I know we haven't said that name in a long time. Rusev is no longer going to be doing any more wrestling. He is done. He has transitioned over to being just a Twitch and a professional Twitcher and a YouTube content creator. So he is, as on his latest Twitch stream, this is his quote: "I'm done. I'm done, man. I'm just enjoying my Twitch. I'm a professional Twitcher, YouTube content creator." So yeah, swallowed wrong. So I hope you go out and check out his Twitch channel and give him a follow, as I guess now he's just done with wrestling for, I don't know, he made, for good, but it sucks. He was good, and I hope he's still on the mend from this COVID-19. He got caught with the virus, so hope he is feeling better. And I mean, that is actually it for the news report this week. Get that down from me. But before we get too far in talking about what's been going on TV, this past week, New Japan Pro Wrestling came out with something very interesting, a very interesting concept coming up for the month of August that is going to go along with new things coming in the more near future every year. New Japan Pro Wrestling has announced a new concept, the KOPW 2020. Basically, I would think it's going to be the King of Pro Wrestling 2020 championship. It's not going to be a championship that is represented by a title belt. The champion at the end of the year will be presented a trophy, the KOPW trophy. The championship is vacated at the end of each calendar year, so it'll go from January 1st to December 31st, year round. For this one that we know of, on August 26th, an event will be held that includes 4 single matches. Each wrestler can suggest a stipulation for their own match, for their own singles match. And the fans will decide whose choice they want to see in each of the 4 matches. I'm kind of liking that idea, kind of like a Cyber Sunday, Taboo Tuesday kind of feel right there. It really has that, it has a good feel of something with the fans, getting something to that. Let me continue reading. On the August 29th at Summer Struggle at Jinju Stadium, they will hold a fatal 4-way match involving the 4 wrestlers from the 3 days prior. So the winners of the 4 single matches will be in a provisional King of Pro Wrestling Championship or 2020 Championship match in a fatal 4-way match. From that point on, the championship will continue to be a constant with will continue to be contested with fans voting for their choice of the involved wrestlers' suggested stipulations. And the man who came out with this announcement, Okada, basically said 2 out of 3 fall matches, steel cage matches, ladder matches were all possible. So this is going to have the feel of again, like a Cyber Sunday, Taboo Tuesday kind of feel for the rest of the year after August 29th for the August 26th for the 4 single matches, and then after Summer Struggle on the 29th of August and throughout the rest of the year, and then restarting again at the beginning of the new year. I like this concept. It gets the fans involved, and it's something new to add to add to your matches, to your card, knowing that the championship is going to be defended on every card. It's going to be a fan interaction, and you're going to pick the stipulation. Fatal 4-Way, a ladder match, 2 out of 3 falls, steel cage, no DQ, something to get the fans a little bit more into it. And in this new age of Twitter, Facebook, polls, I mean, everything is almost online to the point right now to where it adds value to this. I mean, think about where we were back in 2004, 2005. I want to say it was 2004, 2005 when we had Cyber Sunday, or when we had Taboo Tuesday, Cyber Sunday. That feel of, okay, you had to go on a website and vote for the decision. Yeah, it was 2004, 2005 for the Taboo Tuesday, and then after 2005 it was Cyber Sunday, and they had the WWE had the fan voting on online. But nowadays with Twitter, you can calculate the votes of, it's a vote here. It's instantaneous now with the voting, so they can make the matches steps right then and there, like, this is what the fans want to see. Technology has gotten a little bit better for that to happen. So I really like this. It's going to add value to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and given that this is going to be a year-round circulation of who's going to be the champion, maybe not who's going to be the champion at the beginning, but who's going to be the champion at the end of the year, that's going to get this a lovely trophy, the King of Pro Wrestling, especially for this year, King of Pro Wrestling 2020, who's going to be the final champion when the clock hits midnight on January 31st and goes over to from December 31st to January 31st, December 31st to January 1st. That's what I was trying to get in my head. But it's going to be fun to see what's going to happen in New Japan. But let us get into the actual action of what has been going on in the shows. Let's talk what's been going on in the world of professional wrestling. Let's talk the blue brand. Let's talk SmackDown. What happened last week? We had a impromptu number 1 contenders women's title match, championship match opportunity between Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. Thanks to some, I want to say, goading of Bayley trying to get Bliss and Nikki to fight each other, to see who's going to challenge her for the title. And we did get that. I mean, match was great and all. Unfortunately, we got to see the tag team of Bliss and Cross go at it, which I like this tag team. This is one of the, the tag teams that needs to be highlighted and continue to be highlighted, as these two are fun to watch on TV. Nikki Cross picks up the victory, and she will get a SmackDown Women's title opportunity this Friday. Tomorrow night, she will be getting a SmackDown Women's title match. Matt Riddle taking on Tony Nese. Matt Riddle, the bro, man, I feel like he's on this current, hot streak right now. He's the new kid on the block. He's just getting his foot in the door up on the main roster, coming off of NXT. And of course, lo and behold, they're going to be trying to put him in. Actually, they're going to be putting him in a rivalry with Corbin, of all people. I mean, yeah, he's the one that everyone hates, but still, I don't see anything doing, for Matt Riddle, as SmackDown is kind of in this kind of feeling bad kind of. It's not really doing a whole lot. I mean, there are some good moments, but they're not doing as much as they could, I feel. Matt Riddle beats Tony Nese. in a good match. I'll give it that, a good match. Fatal 4-way. Fatal 4-way for a opportunity for a number 1 contenders match for the Intercontinental title this coming Friday, tomorrow night. Grand Metalik taking on Lindsay Dorado, Shorty G, and Drew Gulak. Fatal 4-way rules. It was a good match. I mean, Intercontinental Championship has been elevated. I think it's been a little bit more brought up than where it was years and years ago. Even with the Miz holding it and proclaiming it as the most watch-see title of all, of everyone right now. Back on point. Grand Metalik picks up the victory. Will be the number 1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship this week on SmackDown as he faces AJ Styles. And then, of course, the main event. I can not believe I'm actually saying this, but I didn't really think so. But we had a bar fight. Yeah, we had a bar fight this past week. Jeff Hardy taking on Sheamus in a bar. Now, I know that there's going to be someone out there that's like, well, there have been bar fights before. I'm like, yeah, but that involved the APA. But the whole thing right now is that everyone knows with Jeff Hardy, he's not, in that he's been arrested, drug problems, alcohol, that kind of stuff. And the fact that they're putting him in this situation with having a bar fight and a program with Sheamus, with, he's, surging alcoholic and, blah, blah, blah. It's just not a good fit. I feel like they could have done something a whole lot better with Jeff to this point. But we have a bar fight match. It was chaotic and a little bit destructive inside of an actual bar in Florida. And Jeff Hardy actually picks up the victory over Sheamus, hopefully ending this whole thing with Sheamus. And Jeff Hardy can move on to something a whole lot better. By leaps and bounds, a whole lot better to help SmackDown get up there and actually get a lot of its viewership and fans back for this brand, because I feel like the SmackDown brand has just been dragging so bad. But hopefully they can do something with it this week, as there will be 2 championship matches going on. The SmackDown Women's title, Bayley will be defending the women's title against Nikki Cross. And for the Intercontinental Championship, AJ Styles will defend against Grand Metalik. That was your SmackDown for this past week. Man, I mean, SmackDown it's like, you kind of need a little drink with that, but still, that greater things are hopefully on the way for the Blue brand. Now, as we head on over to the Monday Night Miracle of Monday Night Raw, the flagship. And I say that's the Monday Night flagship, and maybe not a miracle, but it does have a lot better quality and quantity of what they're doing compared to what SmackDown's doing in recent times. Raw Tag Team title opportunity in a triple threat match. Angel Garza and Andrade taking on the Viking Raiders and taking on Ricochet and Alexander for a shot at the Raw Tag Team titles at SummerSlam. This match was fun to see. You had 3 great tag teams right here. Well, 2 of them great tag teams. One starting to get into the tag team picture a little bit more. You had one that was established, and another one, which we all kind of knew, had cracks in the foundation. To which that one would fight with each other, they would bail, they would mess with each other, but it seems like now they've gotten their act together. Team Zelina and her boys have finally gotten on the same page, as they have pulled off a victory, and they are now number one contenders for the Raw Tag Team titles at SummerSlam. So it should be a great match with the Profits, Andrade, and Garza at SummerSlam. It should be great. Lashley taking on the returning Mustafa Ali in his first singles match since returning to TV. Of course, Mustafa got offered a spot, an opportunity to join the Hurt Business of the fake U.S. champ. I say fake, and I will quote it: the fake U.S. champ in MVP, the current 24/7 champ, Shelton Benjamin, and the CEO of the Hurt Corp, the Hurt Group, literally the CEO of it. I don't know how he's the CEO, but still, of the Hurt Business, Lashley. Mustafa declined, wanted to do things on his own, and of course, that is not what Mr. MVP wanted to hear. And of course, Mustafa put up a great effort, but Lashley picks up the victory. Murphy taking on Humberto Carlo. These guys obviously cannot get away from each other. We're hoping that, this is a good match. I'll give it that. But of course, Murphy beats Humberto Carlo. And throughout this whole thing with with Alistair, with Seth, with Ray, and Murphy and Humberto, it's just an inner mashing of things. Alistair got his eye, was the latest victim to get his eye poked on the steel steps. Murphy trying to do that to Humberto, didn't work. Ray's son Dominic got some good lashes in on Seth. If you saw his Twitter, you saw he got some darn good looks on the Monday Night Messiah with that Singapore King. I call the Singapore King. People are going to call it a kendo stick. It's a Singapore King. If you were raised on if you were a part of the old ECW days and you listen, they call it, it's not a kendo stick, it's a Singapore King. But still, it hurt like hell, and he got some good looks on that. But Alistair, the latest victim of the Eye and the Steel Steps club that he is now tagging with Ray, which is unfortunate, which means probably Alistair's going to be off for a little bit, which, I don't know why they would do that, especially in the mind frame and the state that WWE is in right now, especially on the Raw roster. I understand you got a lot of talent for 3 hours, but the fact that a lot or some of your roster may or may not be even there because of the pandemic and they're opting out. Think about it. Roman's not even there, or not even on Raw at tapings. He's been MIA since WrestleMania, or a little bit before WrestleMania, where he was like, I need to stay home. He's been home. He's been gone. So you got one of your big guns gone. He's sitting at home. KO has been somewhat haphazardly. He was gone for a while. Granted, he had an ankle injury. Then he wasn't coming back, for a little bit extra time. He came back for a little bit. So we don't know, if he's here, he's not here. It's like, and then, of course, you guys losing 40 plus talent and releasing with the pandemic. It's like your guys' roster's gone down a little bit. You guys need to refocus and be understanding that you kind of need to keep some people. I mean, if you're going to write someone off, maybe make it a minor injury to where, oh, he's going to be gone for a month. He's going to be off TV for a month or a couple weeks, something, or maybe even 4 weeks, 6 weeks, just to the point where maybe he's not gone, completely gone. He doesn't have to be gone and be reinvented, but just give him a time off to where he can go, relax a little bit off TV, and then bring him back. But the whole eye injury thing, to where that one's just going to be playing out, and what the rumor is that he's going to be off TV for a while to get reinvented, which sucks. But I don't know. Moving on, main event time for this show. Actually, last two things. Sasha Banks, Asuka, women's title on the line. We were going to have the undisputed women's champion. The title can change hands, can be won by pinfall, submission, countout, disqualification, or if anybody interferes in the match. So if Bayley interferes on Sasha's behalf, Asuka wins the title. If someone from the back interferes on Asuka's behalf, Sasha would win the title. So we were going to have an undisputed Raw Women's Champion, and the match did not disappoint. Sasha and Asuka went to battle. This was a good match. Unfortunately, this, had the opportunity to feel like it was going to be a quintessential stamp of who actually is the Raw Women's Champion. But, of course, with everything that WWE is doing to a point, they kind of screw it up a little bit. During the match, near the end, you saw on the screen Bayley attacking Kari in the back, beating her up while Asuka's having this dilemma of, do I, lock in the Asuka lock? Do I go and help her out? Do I win the Raw Women's title? And then Asuka leaves the ring after everything we had in that match. Sasha pulled out the Eddie Guerrero trick of trying to lie, cheat, and steal her way to the title, playing the old Eddie Guerrero card of, slide the belt in, attack, and then ref comes to, or tries to come to, tosses the belt. You're like, I got hurt. And it didn't work. Trying to pull that old card off. Playing a little Eddie Guerrero there. But, of course, that would have worked beautifully had the ref not turned just a little bit before she completely finished it. That would have been great. But Asuka almost beating the count at 9. And Sasha just like, are you kidding me? I need this title. But it ends with Asuka running to the back to save her best friend and getting counted out. And Sasha Banks becomes the undisputed Raw Women's Champion. Not a bad way for everyone to gain up and not really actually just hate on Banks and Bayley more, especially this close to SummerSlam. I mean, I'm starting to lose hope a little bit that we're not going to be seeing a Banks versus Bayley destruction here. I mean, think about it. They're pulling all the gold here, except the NXT Women's title. They have all the women's titles, the Raw, the SmackDown, the tag titles. They hold them. I'm just losing hope that we're not going to be seeing a chance at this Bayley Banks blow up. I don't know. All right, now for the true main event. WWE Championship WWE Championship. I mean, realistically, I don't know what WWE was thinking. Last week you heard that this was Drew up, or that they were going to make a WWE Championship match, that it was going to be Drew's opportunity to name the stipulation. This week they were saying, oh, it was going to be, for an opportunity. This was just, they were not building this up as a championship opportunity or a championship match. I don't know what WWE was thinking. But either way, Drew and Dolph had a match. Drew had an opportunity to make the match, and it was an Extreme Rules match. Now, paint me a little suspicious here, but you would think that for an opportunity to maybe get a little even, maybe a little, stick a knife in Drew kind of mentality, you would want to kind of maybe point the favoritism towards Drew and give him more of an opportunity to, it's an Extreme Rules match, but I get the Extreme Rules and you get nothing. I would figure like a true payback, but nope, Extreme Rules all the way around. I mean, it was a good match. But of course, Drew picks up the victory, and of course, I guess obviously they changed it in the middle that says, oh, it was a WWE Championship match, and Dolph Ziggler is not the champ. And afterwards, we get a surprise of RKO from the Viper, Randy Orton, and that is your Raw for this past week. I mean, I'm not going to speculate on how good or bad this was. It was okay. I'll give it that. It was okay. Some good, some bad, some for this week's Raw. Couple more things to go over this past week. Let's quickly head on over to somewhere where we are just starting to be talking about a little bit more. Let's head on over to Impact. Yeah, we're going to talk a little Impact Wrestling a little bit. Just a little. This past week, we had Impact World Title on the line on Tuesday on Access TV/Twitch. You can check that out. Eddie Edwards defending the Impact World Championship in open match, open challenge, defeating Trey. EY still wanting an opportunity at the world title. The new Impact Women's Champion, Perezzo, defeated Kimberly. And I know someone out there is going to be saying Kimberly from Power Rangers. Like, nope. I get it, but it's Kimber and then Lee. But I know if you combine them two together, it's Kimberly from the Power Rangers, from Maya Morphin, the original. Yeah, I know, that's bad. Just so original for you guys to think of that. Or if it's her, so original. Nice tie-in. The Good Brothers taking on Reno Scum, and they picking up the victory. Some Good Brothers of Gallows and Anderson in their first match back on the card of Impact. Well, one for a comeback, the other one making his debut. But either way, the Good Brothers pick up the victory. I am not going to talk about the Wrestle House at all because it looks, and yeah, that's a whole bag of worms I'm not getting into. Do know that next Tuesday, Rich Swann is going to make an announcement. The Guns are going to give an interview. We're going to have the X Division champ Chris Bay and Ronette Raju taking on Falabaha and TJP, former Cruiserweight Champion of the World, TJ Perkins right there. World Heavyweight Champion Eddie Edwards is going to have an open challenge. He's going to put the title on the line. And then in a unsanctioned TNA, unrecognized TNA World Heavyweight title match, Moose will defend against the, I kind of want to say, potential Impact signee of Heath, formerly Heath Slater. And if Heath Slater wins, Heath wins, he's on the Impact roster. He will be signed, sealed, and delivered as an Impact wrestler. That was this week's Impact. Let's head on over to AEW for a quick little snip. And just go down the card for this past week. Best Friends, and Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Orange Cassidy defeating the Inner Circle. Big main event, big tag team matchup right here. It was big. It was a great match. I'll give it that. It was a great match. When you got five? It's a 10-man tag. And a lot of action with these guys. Cassidy, I love Cassidy right now. Cassidy and Jericho. We'll talk about what's coming up for these guys in a short bit, which is going to be fun to see. But yeah, Inner Circle loses to Cassidy, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Best Friends in 10-man tag action. And a TNT Championship Open Challenge match. Warhorse does not pick up the title over Cody. Cody retains the TNT title. Afterwards, Dark Order comes out, attacks Cody, tries to jump on the old horseman of Arn Anderson AA, but a surprise debut of Matt Cardona, who everyone knows as Woo. You know it, Zack Ryder, debuting and is now with AEW. Dang, just a lot of things going down here in the world of AEW. Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, tag team titles on the line, defending against the Dark Order. Dark Order does not pick up the victory. Again, Omega and Page, these guys, I love watching these guys as a tag team. I'm glad that they're the tag champs right now. They're just producing great stuff. I want to see more of it. Non-title women's matchup. Sheeta taking on Dynamite. It's just spelled differently. But Sheeta picks up the victory in a great women's match. I'll give it that. It was a great women's match. And then, of course, main event, Mox and Darby taking on Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. Tag team action. A lot of craziness from the get-go through the end. Darby Allin coming out and attacking Starks with a skateboard covered in tacks, stomps it on his back. A lot of craziness. Mox and Darby Allin pick up the victory over Cage and Starks. Next week, as already been announced, Jericho and Orange Cassidy are going to have a debate. And then August 12th, which will be after next week's show, actually will be the following week's show, August 12th, they're going to have a wrestling rematch. They're going to have a rematch from their epic match a few weeks ago. Actually, from, was it? It was from Fight of the Fallen. Or no, it was Firefest. Sorry, Firefest. That's where it was. I had to go back and from 3 weeks ago. So yeah, that's gonna be an awesome match right there. Mox is gonna defend the AEW World Title against Darby Allin 1-on-1 for the World Title. Cody Rhodes, Matt Cardona will take on the Dark Order of Alex Reynolds and John Silver. And then 12-man tag team action. The Elite will take, and the FTR will take on the Dark Order in 12-man tag match. And then, of course, this past week, MJF challenging Mox for the AEW Championship for All Out. their next upcoming PPV right there. That is what happened in Dynamite this week on AEW. Let's swing on over to the Black and Gold brand so we can close out this week's show here on the Flex Network. NXT this week. Tag team action with the women. The women's champ, Io Shirai, and Tegan Nox, taking on Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae, the Poison Pixie, and the captain of Team Kick. Could not get it done. They couldn't work together, I guess. Dakota abandoned Candice and just got plucked away by the champ. And hopefully someday the next NXT Women's Champion, Tegan Nox. Literally, I'm putting on a poll that literally I'm standing here saying that Tegan Nox needs to be NXT Women's Champion. She needs to be the next champ. But anyhow, one-on-one action. Johnny Wrestling taking on Roderick Strong. This was a damn good match. I love this match. This was an awesome match. Back and forth between these two. Gargano picks up the victory over Roddy. Mercedes Martinez taking on Shotzi Blackheart, newest member of the Roderick Strong brand, taking on Shotzi. Hopefully this will put her in. Shotzi will also get an opportunity at the women's title. She's on fire right now, with at least in the fans wise. I hope that she's, that tank is awesome. But of course, this week Mercedes shuts down the Blackheart in a good match. I'll give it that. It was a good match for these two. Imperium taking on Everrise in tag team action. Imperium picking up the victory, the reigning tag team champs, and then of course afterwards Undisputed Era beelines it and just lays out Imperium. I think this is the rebirth of the Undisputed Era, refocused and just ready to retake all the gold here on the Black and Gold brand. And I hope they do. Them winning all the titles was literally one of the best things to see for NXT. They ran roughshod and they held dominance when they held the titles. But they were good. It was very, very good when they did it. Isaiah Swerve Scott taking on Jake Atlas in a winning effort for Mr. Swerve, picking up the victory. Good match. Dex, and then, of course, main event. Triple threat match for a shot. Or, sorry, I shouldn't say shot. To qualify for the North American Championship triple threat ladder match at TakeOver 30. Dexter Lumis, Timothy Thatcher, and Finn Balor in a triple threat match. And you know what? This was a hella good match. I loved it. Lot of back and forth action with all these three. And surprisingly, I really thought Finn might have been put into this. I mean, to go in and be able to have a chance to hold the second singles title of his career on NXT. Let me be clear. On the NXT Black and Gold brand, to hold the second title of his career down there. And he doesn't get it done because Dexter Lumis picks up the victory and has qualified for the ladder match at TakeOver 30 for the North American title. That was NXT this past week. We do know next week there will be a NXT Women's #1 contenders match for a shot at the title at TakeOver 30. Dakota Kai, the leader of Team Kick, taking on the Nightmare Rhea Ripley one-on-one. And then the third NXT North American Championship ladder match qualifier takes place. Triple threat match, of course. Ridge Holliday, Oni Larkin, and Damian Priest round out your main event for the night next week on the Black and Gold brand for the triple threat match at TakeOver. That is how NXT winds down for the week. That literally this past week's been a great match. I feel like NXT and Dynamite always deliver on Wednesday nights. Raw in the background, they're at third. And then SmackDown, of course, at the bottom. And then, of course, you got Impact now starting to pull it together and get, start to creep up a little bit. I mean, granted, the Wrestle House idea, I'm not a fan of. It's kind of... But, of course, you're going to have people that do like it. And some people are not going to like it. And I'm on that. I don't like it. But anyhow, I am just happy that there's still wrestling going on in the world today. And there's been, a lot of talks about, why you of people burying NXT, or pro NXT or against NXT. They're for Dynamite. They're not for Dynamite. It's like, guys, calm down. Right now, think about it. Right now in the world, right now, wrestling is the only thing that is going on that has literally been still going on during this pandemic. Just be happy that that wrestling is still going on TV right now. I mean, yes, right now at this this Thursday, right now, NHL exhibitions are getting back into the swing of things. The last day of the exhibition games are back today, which is awesome. They're my boy CG Corey, the SnowMan. It's like, yep, checking into the show. But yeah, hockey is starting to get back. Last of the exhibition games are today, and then start of August, Stanley Cup Finals are going. Okay, baseball's just now coming back to start their 60-game season. Okay, basketball is starting to get back into it. MLS is starting to get back. But guess what? Wrestling has been still going on through this entire pandemic. So I want everyone out there that listens or watches this is like, guys, you don't need to be pro NXT, pro Dynamite. You don't need to be against NXT or against Dynamite on Wednesday nights. You don't even need to be pro AEW, pro WWE. Just be happy that there is wrestling going on. And yeah, Wednesdays you have something you can Impact's on, Dynamite is on commercial break. Let's switch on over to NXT, catch some wrestling there. Oh, okay. NXT is on commercial break. Let's head back. You have something to choose on your Wednesday nights. And on Mondays, you have Raw. Tuesdays, you can go on Twitch and watch Impact. Or if you got Access TV, you can go and watch Impact. Wednesdays, you got Dynamite. You got NXT. Fridays, you've got SmackDown to go and watch. So again, guys, do not be hating on what's been going on between these guys, between at least these two companies and possibly the third with Impact. Just be happy that wrestling is back, or is still going on. I'm not saying back. That wrestling is still going on. You have stuff to watch with these, three companies. So again, one last little thing. I figured I would end the show on a good note after my post rant about being happy that wrestling is still going on through this entire pandemic. I figured I would give you guys an idea for we're on the road to SummerSlam. I figured let's get you guys out there watching some content. So what I've done is went out and made a little wheel that is going to, I put up some good, good year pay-per-views from SummerSlam, from 95 all the way to 2010, for a little while. Then I might switch it up and switch some stuff out. But at least this little while, I'm going to spin the wheel, and I'm going to point you guys in the right direction of a good SummerSlam you should guys go out and check. Or even if it's if it's a certain year, maybe like 98, go back and watch, like the Raws to build up to, SummerSlam 98. I want you guys to get vested into some good shows, some good PPVs out there. And of course, I got from 95 all the way down to 2010. So I got some good variety here of years for you guys to go out and check. So how about this? How about we spin the wheel and let's find out what you guys need to be checking out on this road to SummerSlam. And the wheel says, oh, good God, I did not call that. Oh, never mind. It was close. It was real close. Like a hair fraction. But yes, how about we talk a little bit about SummerSlam 1999, the out-of-body experience, Minneapolis, Minnesota at the Target Center. This was a great pay-per-view for you guys to go out, for a good spin. I'll give it that. This was a good pay-per-view in general. And of course, CG1 2000, okay. Of course, 2000 was a stacked event. I'll give it that. But 1999, the out-of-body experience, literally was a great event, top to bottom. I mean, you had, of course, the triple threat match. Austin, Triple H, Mankind, special guest referee, Jesse the Body Ventura for the WWF title. You had tag team titles on the line. You had Big Show and The Undertaker taking on Kane and X-Pac. That was a very great tag team right there. Two of them right there. The Unholy Alliance, and you got X-Pac and Kane. You had Test taking on Shane McMahon in a Greenwich Street fight. That was a damn good match right there. Hardcore titles on the line. Al Snow, Boss Man right there. That was awesome. Jeff Jarrett, D'Lo Brown for the Intercontinental and the European titles right there. Both guys had championship gold. Titles were on the line. That was a great match. Acolytes. Tag team turmoil to determine number one contenders for the tag titles. Acolytes, the Holly Cousins. You had a lot of great tag teams in that one. That was a great match. Lions Den match. Steve Blackman, Ken Shamrock. We getting a little view there, but let's see. What else? There was another one. Of course, The Rock, Billy Gunn in a Kiss My match. And you know what? This is uncensored. It's a Kiss My Ass match for everybody. That was a great match. Good concept. I mean, of course, the tag team turmoil. I mean, you had Edge Christian, The Brood, the New Brood, Matt and Jeff Hardy, Mideon, Viscera, Draws and Prince Albert, the Acolytes, the Holly Cousins. So yeah, there was great matches here. I mean, you can even go and watch the pre-show, the Sunday Night Heat pre-show. It's on the network. So yeah, guys, I encourage you guys to go out and check this. Actually, you know what? No, I don't think it's on the network. Never mind. Scratch that. I don't think it's on there yet. I hope it does. Gets there soon. But I hope you guys go and check out SummerSlam 1999. And it's going to be a blast for you guys to go out and check. Go back down the SummerSlam history and rewatch it. But we'll do it again next week. We'll do it another throwback SummerSlam for you guys. I mean, we'll take 1999 out and we'll add something in there. We might throw one way back in the past. We might even throw in the first SummerSlam. Who knows? But of course, that is going to be it for me this week here on the Flex Network. And you know what? I figure we just ended with that. It was a good, very good idea to have a throwback for you guys. But let's get on with the little spiel that I have to go through for every week. You can follow us here on Facebook. You can follow us here on YouTube, on Twitter. You can follow us on Facebook at the Flex Network. Let me double check, make sure that's you can find us on Facebook at the Flex Network 23. On Twitter, you can find us at the Flex Network 1 for your fantasy football and your football needs. And then, of course, for your wrestling side of the world, you can follow us at FlexNet_PW Elite. Man, a lot of stuff there. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify. We're literally on that podcast high right now. But if we are not, where you get your podcast fix, let us know. We will work to get onto that so we can flex our muscles there and continue to dominate. But make sure you like and subscribe and follow us. And keep your nose and your ears listening to what is going on in the world here on the Flex Network. But that is it. That is going to be it for me this week for this lovely Thursday night to end the month of July. Next month is August, so we're going to be even more into this for this SummerSlam that we're coming up here. And it's going to be one hot summer, everybody. But that's going to be it for me. I am the SnowMan, and this has been the Pro Wrestling Week in Review Show. And I will see you next week. Peace out.
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody. This right here is the Flex Network. Yeah. Flex on the G. Flex.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.